Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw. Today we are continuing the Iron Maiden discography with, of course, the 8th studio album released back in 1990 entitled No Prayer for the Dying. Let's jump into this controversial Iron Maiden record. So first off, Adrian Smith has left the band at this point during pre-production of this album and is replaced with Janick Gers, who was playing on Bruce Dickinson's first solo album, and basically Bruce Dickinson brought him on board to replace Adrian Smith. So on top of the fact that No Prayer for the Dying is a controversial album in Iron Maiden's discography, on top of that, we have another controversial thing where Janick Gers is now replacing Adrian Smith, and the fans, once again, on top of the album dividing their opinions about this record, they're also divided on Janick Gers, that they like him or don't like him. So it's just like a lot of controversial stuff going on all at once on one record. So it's a big deal. So this album had to at least deliver what they were trying to say to the fans, that this album is going to go back to the original roots of Iron Maiden and stripping away the synthesizers and basically drifting back to what Iron Maiden was before they started drifting into newer territories with Somewhere in Time and, of course, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Did they accomplish this? Well, for me, sometimes they did. Other times, sadly not. There will be positives and negatives, I will say, throughout this review. So let's start with some of the positives, and we'll go into the actual my negatives. And I'm curious to wonder what you guys think about this album. I usually say this at the end of the video, but let me know in the comment section below your thoughts about this record as I go through my positives and negatives. So let's start off with the positives. I'm going to go through some of the songs that I think that did accomplish what they were trying to accomplish, which was go back to the original roots of Iron Maiden. We'll go through some of the songs and some of the more positive things, then we'll talk about the negative things, and we'll kind of see what happens with all that. But I'm interested to see what you guys think about this record, as it is a controversial one. So positives. Songs. Tailgunner opens up this album. It definitely has that older Iron Maiden feel. The opening riff at the very beginning feels very, early Iron Maiden stuff. I enjoy this track for what it is. It's definitely not a very standout track, but I think it's a good opener for what they're trying to accomplish with this more stripped down Iron Maiden, back to the basics, back to the roots. So Tailgunner, I think, is a very good one to do that. Now, the actual title track, No Prayer for the Dying, starts off very peaceful, very soothing. I enjoy the riffs. The riffs on this song, I think, are very catchy. The melodies I really enjoy as well. And I enjoy what Bruce Dickinson provides on this track, especially his vocals, I think, are very good for this track, and I think that the whole band delivers a very good, solid track here. So the title track really did surprise me, and I enjoyed it very well. Track number 9, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Now, there is one little thing that I have to say. It's not necessarily a negative, just more of just like, I don't understand why they did this. As we all know, if you know your history, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter was actually a track from Bruce Dickinson's solo album that was actually created for Nightmare on Elm Street number 5, which I don't know why they made so many of those. But this song was made for that soundtrack of that movie, and Bruce Dickinson expanded that into an actual album, and the song was featured there. And then Steve Harris said, "Hey, let's bring this song over." It's a good song, but I'm just wondering, why did they take a song from Bruce Dickinson's solo project and bring it onto an Iron Maiden record? That's just kind of strange to me. But regardless of that fact, it's a good song. I enjoy it. It's a very catchy chorus, and I enjoy what the song does. It's definitely not the heaviest Iron Maiden song, but it definitely is a very catchy song. But that's the one thing I wanted to say, why they bring it over. But anyways, track number 10, Mother Russia. Holy crap. Okay, this is my favorite song on the album, and it's not because Bruce Dickinson is featured on it so little, as this song could have been an instrumental if they took Bruce Dickinson off, because he's barely on the song to begin with. But I do enjoy his lyrical content, but I enjoy the song so much because of the musicianship. The lyrical content from Bruce Dickinson is good. I do enjoy that. But it's the musicianship, it's the guitars, bass, and drums that makes Mother Russia, track number 10, the final track, a very powerful song. I just love the song to death, and hearing about this song just makes me go, why is more of the album not like Mother Russia? Mother Russia has the transitions. They're correct. They are smoothly going through the transitions. The sections within this song are very powerful, and it definitely tell the song is it is a closer. But why is the rest of the album not similar to Mother Russia in a sense, trying to learn from what the final track is going to do and kind of bring it over to other songs, maybe, enhance these songs up more, and I'll talk about this a little bit later with the negatives. But Mother Russia, I love this track to death. It's a very epic song, and it closes this album very, very nicely. Now, to some of the more basic things. The guitar work, for the most part, the melodies and the guitar solos from Janick Gers and Dave Murray are very, very good. I really enjoy the guitar solos they brought to the table on this. And the melodies, I think, are very powerful. Some of the riffs are very catchy and they do stand out. So for the most part, the guitars are very, very good on this album. The drum work, of course, from Nicko McBrain, I think, is very, very good. Very good. That's kind of the word I was trying to go for. Trying to find a word. But Nicko McBrain, his drum work, I think, is phenomenal. Once again, he's doing a very good job here. Steve Harris, once again, doing really good on bass. Bruce Dickinson, the thing is, this is kind of where we're going to switch from the negatives to the positives, but it's kind of in the middle for Bruce Dickinson. Because Bruce Dickinson, he had to go through a vocal change for this album, and in a sense, he's not doing a very operatic performance. He's doing a little bit of operatic performance, but he's doing a more raspy vocal performance. And this is where one of the dividing factors, and this is where we start getting to the negatives. And so, for me, I enjoy his performance. I appreciate it and respect what he's trying to do here, a different style. But I'm curious to know what this album would be if he performed his actual vocal style and brought it to this album, the operatic style that we know from Bruce Dickinson and love, and wonder what this album would be if that performance was on this record instead of what we have, which is the more raspier thing. Now to some of the negatives. Let's go through some of that. So, first thing, this album was recorded originally in a barn. What? Why? Okay, I understand that they wanted to go back to the roots of Iron Maiden, but you didn't have to go to the point where we're going to record this in a barn. Even Bruce Dickinson said, this is shit. I don't know why we're doing this. And so I'm just curious to know why, after they recorded it, did some, because from what I've read, that no one came in to kind of, help the production on this album. It just kind of just recorded in a barn and that's it. I feel like that they should have went to a studio and just did what they were going to do and just do it in a studio, and there you go. I don't understand why they recorded in a barn. I don't get that. That's something that really just bothers me. Just don't understand why that is. But to the other songs that I did not mention, which are the songs Holy Smoke, Public Enema, number 1. I thought that was a misspell, but obviously they're trying to go for something there. Fate's Warning, The Assassin. The Assassin just bothers me because Bruce Dickinson says the word assassin so much within the song, it gets really annoying. But yeah, Run Silent, Run Deep, Hooks in You. Hooks in You is my least favorite track on this album. It doesn't feel inspired. But to all those songs that I just named within the negative segment, right there, the reason why they're in this segment is simply because they either don't feel inspiring, they don't have something to really latch onto to enjoy. They kind of just feel like a very basic song. Now, I understand they want to go the simplistic route and make more simpler songs, but when it gets to the point where the songs don't have anything to kind of push them forward and kind of finish them off in a big way and to kind of keep the listener, keep their attention and to keep them listening. If something is not there, the songs are going to feel to some fans filler. They're going to feel like they're not really accomplishing what they're supposed to be doing. They're kind of just there just to make noise. But for me, these songs are not terrible, but they're just songs that I feel like they could have had something else to kind of push them along and to kind of give them something else to really, give them more excitement at least. But sadly, that's not the case for that. So there's that. On the more basic side, so on the more basic stuff like guitars and all that. Now, I said for the most part the guitars were good. Now, there are some riffs. There are some riffs and some ideas in the guitar section of the band that I feel like I said earlier about the songs, they don't feel inspired. The riffs kind of sound like way too familiar to past stuff, and it feels like that they weren't trying to do too much. So it makes me wonder, did Adrian Smith bring so much to the table that that some of the riffs are going to they're not going to feel inspiring, they're going to kind of feel, just kind of put in there. But when I say that, I also think of all the positives I said about the guitars, because there are some amazing riffs on this album. There are some really good riffs. And then you hear these other riffs and you go, is this being played by the same people? Is it come up with the same people, the ideas? I don't know. But for the most part, there is positives and negatives. This album definitely has some good things going for it, and for me personally, some bad things going for it. Some of these songs, there's less songs that I enjoy, and there's more songs that I don't like. So for me, No Prayer for the Dying is not a terrible album, but it's also not a great, fantastic album. To me, it's an average album. You know, the band did accomplish what at least they were trying to accomplish in some senses, but in other senses, in other ways, they didn't. You know, No Prayer for the Dying goes back to the original roots of Iron Maiden, but it didn't accomplish 100%. This album could have been so much more if maybe they would have put a little bit more effort and maybe not go into a barn to record. You know, I did say earlier about Adrian Smith contributing, and maybe that's a big factor why this album failed, but in some senses. But I would hope to think that that's not the case, because I feel like that with some of the things like Mother Russia and Mother Russia, the actual title track, and Tailgunner, I'm pretty sure that's correct, that those songs are very catchy and have a lot of things going for them, and it makes me wonder why the other songs don't really have a lot going for them, at least for me. I'm curious to know why that is. You know, I feel like that, you know, Bruce Dickinson, I'm going to kind of rest through here. Bruce Dickinson did a great job. His vocal style is different, yes, but I feel like that he's doing a good job here. And of course, we know we're coming kind of close to the end, because the next album we're going to be reviewing after this one will be his final performance until, of course, he comes back in 2000. So there's that. Dave Murray and, of course, Janick Gers, I feel like their guitar performances are great. And in most cases, some cases not so much, but they definitely shine in the melodies and the guitar solo sections. Those are where the guitars really shine, at least in my opinion. The melodies and the guitar solos, and some of the riffs, the actual rhythm riffs, are very catchy. Steve Harris, you know, he does a fantastic job. But I love the little thing he does in Mother Russia, where he plays a little bit by himself, kind of brings in the song. I just love that song, Mother Russia. But Steve Harris, I feel like does a great job. And Nicko McBrain, for the most part, is doing another fantastic performance. So this album isn't all bad for me. It just has those moments within songs, and sometimes whole entire songs, where they don't feel inspiring. They don't feel like that there was a lot of effort going into them. So for me, this album is an average album. It's an okay album. It's a decent album. It's not a terrible album. It's not a bad album. I don't dislike it. I don't love it. I don't cherish it. I don't think it's a fantastic record. It's in the middle. It's smack dab in the middle. So my rating for this would definitely have to be a 6 out of 10. It is low, but at the same time, it would be lower if the 3 songs that I really do enjoy, because Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter is a good song, but I don't want to consider that as a original Iron Maiden track, as it is not. So I'm not counting that with them talking about this whole entire thing about, you know, the positive of the original music from this band. So Tailgunner, the title track, No Prayer for the Dying, and Mother Russia are the songs that really bring this up to a 6.0, and the guitar performances and the band's performances in the entirety. But what really brings it down from being a higher number and being a better album to me is sometimes whole entire songs, sometimes just sections that just aren't there and aren't hitting the mark, and they're close, but they're just not hitting it, or they're not even close at all. So No Prayer for the Dying, 6 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I'm really excited and really interested to see what you guys think about this album, so let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. This is my review, 6 out of 10. So if you liked the video, like the video. If you want to see my stuff, or me, or more of my reviews of Iron Maiden, the discography, click my name or subscribe to see more. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.